Morning. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Love 500, and welcome back to Project Bluey. Let's get straight into it now. So, where are we? Well, we're at nowhere since you last saw this. Car's up in the air, wheels still on. Nothing's just got the microphone cable stuck. Nothing's changed, apart from a bit of it's not bird poo, bits of moss off the roof all over the car. So yeah, nothing's changed, except that I've put it down this side. It was up both sides, as you know, as I crept underneath. Some stuff has started to arrive. So we have the new airbag, which I'm going to put on tomorrow morning. We've also got the new wing, which, apart from being filthy dirty, has arrived in the post relatively unscathed. I think there might be a tiny little crease, but you can sort of just about see it sometimes at the right angle, but it's so tiny you can't even feel it. So it will be fine, as long as they've not bent the damn thing getting it off, which that does sometimes happen. Once it's cleaned up, it should be decent. So that's good. Also arrived this morning is the chassis leg. Also arrived yesterday or the day before are the wheel nut things. There they are. So I've been intrigued to try this. I haven't tried it yet, but I think I might try it in a second. Don't intend to do anything to the car today, and it is, even now it's still raining. But I'm just so intrigued as to whether these things are going to work. So I might give them a go. I'm not even sure which one I'm supposed to use, but we'll try it anyway. So what else I think that's about it that's arrived so far. So we got the wing, those. The only other thing that I bought is I bought a new PDR set, paintless dent removal. So I got lots of end bits and a slide hammer, a smallish slide hammer. So that will be good for getting out panel dents rather than using the thing that the bridge thing that you screw on. I thought I'd get one of those because I've got a slide hammer which I use for like getting under lips and pulling out, but I thought that would be it's a sort of scaled down version, if you like, a slightly lighter version for getting out little dents. And remember the one in Beige Girl that I never got around to? Well, I tried getting it out and I couldn't get the thing to stick in the cold and damp, so I gave up on it. But I thought I'd try that on there because that was a tiny little ding and it would probably be better for it. So I bought one of those, so we'll be trying that at some point in the near future. But for now, I just can't stand the suspense any longer as to whether these things are gonna work. So I'm gonna check what size it is, and then I'm gonna give it a go. Right. So that says 17. So they're not 17. So they're obviously bigger than that. The normal wheel nuts are 17. But I guess the actual key thing is bigger than that, because that won't go on there. I'm going to have to experiment. I don't quite understand why, but these wheel nuts, none of those things will fix on any of them. I want to try and show you, compare it with with another one that I've got, and show you why. So on this is one that I had from, if you remember, the sister-in-law's car that came around the other day. She had hers lost and I ordered a new one, and then I found it. So as you can see, you've got the pattern of the lock, and then there's a recess. So there's a big recess all the way around it, if you can see. The big recess bit, as you can see, that outer ring is level with the same as the pattern bit. On this one, so I realised that using those removers, you actually get it on the outer ring, not within the pattern, or not within the next bit out, but the entire outer ring. And none of those sockets are big enough. So whether the Fiat 500 ones are just a stupid size, bigger than every other, but absolutely no use whatsoever. So yeah, I've had to order a key. Let's get back into what we were trying to do. I got these things that the fella from the paint shop lent me. I mean, they look like the same sort of things, so I'm going to try those as well. They look like the similar sort of thing, slightly different pattern, but I'm going to try them and see. But I don't know, maybe I'm being stupid, but, and I know several of you said, and I already knew about hammering on one that's slightly too small, but I don't want to end up, I'm sure that probably will work, but I don't want to end up doing it and ending up messing up the nut and then not being able to get it out, because that would just be a disaster. So I think the best thing I can do is spend the money and get the proper key if I can't get my head around this. The chassis leg, not chassis leg, I keep calling these chassis legs, whatever you call it, strut, that's it. So it's not got much in the way of rust on it, so it looks decent. One looks okay down there, so hopefully this should be a bit of plain sailing. So the bend is around sort of, I don't know, not sure where the bend is exactly, around here somewhere I think. Again, until I get the wheel off it's difficult to tell, but I've still got to sort of figure out how to use these damn things, or just get an ordinary key, which I'm beginning to wish I'd done in the first place. So I figured it out anyway. I watched a YouTube video. What I didn't realise is the socket fits over the entire thing, not just the centrepiece. I thought it sort of fitted over the coded piece, if you like, but it doesn't. It fits over the whole thing, and none of these are big enough. Can you believe it? So the biggest one I've got there is number 10, which is 19mm hex size. Outside hex size 27mm. It's not quite big enough. So what do? Do I buy some more that are big enough? I mean, I can only ever see me wanting these for doing these cars. I don't know why any of them will be any good for anything else, really, unless I've got rounded off nuts. I suppose they're useful for rounded off nuts, so maybe I will keep them. I can't remember how much they were. I don't think it was that expensive, so I might see if there's a kit that has got slightly bigger ones than that. So what was it? It was 27mm, so I need probably 30mm I expect, or 28mm, I don't know. It wasn't far out, but it don't fit, so I can't really measure it. It's a bit difficult to get anything in there to measure it, but we'll have a look, see what's about on Amazon and eBay, and see if we can get something ordered. If I can get something on Amazon ordered today for tomorrow, then I'll do that. But yeah, a bit of a nuisance, but never mind, one of those things. Never used them before, never done it before. I've always had a key or bought a key, so it's never really been an issue, but oh well, such is life. Today I'm not doing very much to it because I'm still waiting for the locking wheel nut key to come. That was dispatched on Christmas Eve, and it is now the Monday after Christmas, which is the bank holiday. So all I'm going to do today is I'm going to put some plus gas on the top of the nut for the strut. I'm a poet and I don't know it, and then I'm going to see if I can get that undone, because I know that they can be grief if they. I can't remember how rusty it is. From memory, I don't think it was too bad. We'll have a look in a sec. But yeah, I don't think it was too bad, so hopefully it will come undone without too much grief. It's obviously up in the air at the moment, so ideally it should be down on the ground to undo that, so I may have to do that. But I'm going to give it a go anyway and see what happens. It is a bit wet, so I'm just going to get the water out. I might actually leave this plus gas on it overnight and come back to it tomorrow. Doesn't look too bad. It looks like there's actually some grease around it. I think that's what that white is. I think that's grease. I don't think that's gunge. So you never know. It may even have had it done already at some point. Right, let's get some plus gas on. What did I do with it? There it is. I'm not on a tripod at the moment, but so I can't do this one-handed. So this stuff is really good stuff. Much better than using WD-40. I'm just going to get the top off and get the nozzle on, and then we'll be back. It's quite awkward to get in there. Never really quite sure how much of this stuff to use. I don't suppose you need very much. Let it soak. A lot of people say let this stuff soak overnight. What does it say on here? Apply a few drops to the seized or corroded part. Use tightening action to crack the rust and release. Plus gas usually works in seconds, but in severe cases repeat treatment, allowing plus gas to penetrate for a few minutes. Because the longer you leave it, the better, really. I'm going to try and do it without taking this off if I can. But we'll leave it about. I'm going to just get the old bath down the drive and give it a wash. So once I've done that, I'll come back and see if we can get it off. This isn't a very good shot, I'm afraid. I've been trying to put the camera somewhere where I can actually get to it, that can actually see it. It seems to be moving. I think it seems quite loose. So I'm going to try it with the ordinary socket. I don't know if I'll be able to get enough. Might need extension bar. Yeah, it doesn't show it very well, but I've got one of these angled things on it rather than an extension bar. Much easier, and it's undoing a treat actually. So I reckon, because this has all been obviously greased up, I don't reckon this is it's long since this has been replaced. So it's probably had new shocks. Seems to be coming. It's not putting up any resistance. I'm assuming it is actually coming undone. Let's actually take it off and have a look. Oh yeah, it's nearly off, and fantastic. I did buy some new nuts. M12 nuts they are. So I bought 10 of them, so I may as well put them on. I think that's going to come off my finger now. It's almost there. Oh no, it's a bit too stiff for finger. I'm glad that's come off okay, because I was a bit concerned, having seen in the past when some of these have been taken off, the nuts had to be broken to get it off. And you know what the trouble I have with nuts, if you'll pardon the expression. There we go. Yeah, it's not even rusty at all really, just a little bit of surface rust. So we'll take off the top cup. So I'm glad to report that the actual mount, let me show you actually, get the dirty muck off my fingers. Let's take the camera off the tripod. So yeah, so there's no distortion whatsoever in the actual bit where it sits. No distortion whatsoever, which is good. Someone did query that as to whether that may have done damage to that, but it looks fine. Looks absolutely fine. So we'll give those a clean up, and then as soon as this key comes, we can get this bloody wheel off. It was, as I say, it was posted on Christmas Eve. It's bank holiday today, so with a bit of luck it might come tomorrow. I think when I bought them before, they normally take a couple of days. Can't remember if it's by Hermes or by post. Can't remember. But yeah, I haven't got any tracking on it, but it's not going to take long. So I'm intrigued to get this wheel off and just verify what I think we already know, and obviously see if there's any more damage. So that's it for the time being. I think I'm not going to bother filming it, but I'm going to start undoing some of the bolts for the wing as well, so we can get that off. because I want to get that off, and it's just easier to get into the suspension strut, and you know, doing everything that's got to be done. If that's not on, it's got to come off anyway, so I might as well take it off and not put the new one on for the time being. Yeah, that's it for now, and we'll be back as soon as that key comes. So a few days have passed. As you can see, we've now got the locking wheel nut key. So it's going to be a bit difficult to film this because the car's quite close to the wall here. I've set the tripod up down there, but I'm not sure it's going to be much use and how much I'm going to be able to pick up. But I'm going to get the wheel off, and then that will obviously give us more of an idea once we get in there and see what else is damaged, if anything. So let's get this wheel off at long last. Right, wheels off. So now, as far as I can see, the caliper and the disc are okay. As far as I can see, oh, it's got a torch. Actually, let's use the torch rather than that light, just gives me a better light. So as far as I can see, the brake lines aren't damaged. Just again, you know, that's something been going on around here. It hasn't split that at all, it's just bent it, so that can quite easily be bent back into shape. That's not a problem. So this is the impact here, as you can see, and this is where it's bent, and that's pushed that against the side of the car and then stopped. So as far as I can see, until I get it off, I can't see whether it's done any damage behind here. It doesn't look like it has. I mean, it doesn't seem to be out of shape, certainly here or here. So I think the impact's obviously, that's obviously where the tyres hit it. But the main impact is going to be there, I guess. So I've got to get these bolts undone, move this out of the way. Obviously the tie rod here is cream crackered. Can't think if the bolts are at the front or the back, so that might be, I may have to I'll probably just take it off the bottom if I can actually get to it. It's impossible at this stage to tell whether this is bent or not. I don't think it is, but the bottom arm looks absolutely fine. It's completely missed that. Completely missed it. Looking under there, let's get the torch again. Where's it gone? Lost my torch. There it is. Looking under there, everything looks absolutely fine. The drive shaft, I think, is going to be okay. I think it's just bent up on the swivel point, just there, just down there, where we looked at before. Track rod arms look okay. So I'm still quite hopeful that I've got off lightly. We'll get this off. I'll even take the spring off for this, because this is looks like a decent spring. So I bought some spring compressors so I can do it. But it doesn't look as if any brake lines are damaged, which is good. Obviously there's no brake fluid lost anywhere. I think that on a previous MOT, it said that there was a leak, quite an old MOT, about 4 years ago, so there was a small leak from the gearbox, so I reckon that's what that is. That staining down there, that's not fresh oil. So I'm hopeful that we might be able to just get this off, put the new one on, and the wheel will be straight. So I'm going to try and set the camera up on the tripod. As I say, I think the corner of the bumper is going to get in the way. I'm not sure how much I'm going to be able to film. I might be able to. We'll try it anyway, and see what we can do. I'll probably do it on time lapse, or at least some of it on time lapse. I've never done this before, so I don't know how long it's going to take. I know how to do it. I know we've got to unclip the brake hoses, the ABS sensor and so on. We've got to undo that bolt, so you've got to have a spanner on one side and a socket on the other. Same goes for the one below it. And obviously undo that tie rod in some way, whether it be at the top or at the bottom. It's got to come off regardless, obviously, to put a new one on. But even though I've got one of these, it's difficult to turn it. It's probably rusted up a bit. I've only got one hand as well, as I'm holding the camera with the other. Brake pads look virtually new. So there's no, there was a little slight lip on that, very, very slight lip, but I don't think anything to warrant it changing it. We'll see when it gets MOT'd, but I might just do it anyway. I have got some discs, so I might just do it anyway. We'll see what it's like first. I can always come back and do that afterwards. Don't have to do that now. It's no great biggie. So yeah, so let's put you on tripod and then we'll set it up and see what we can film. Okay, we're virtually there now. So a couple of pointers on this. I did set it up on time lapse, but for some reason it only ran for 1 second and then stopped, so I haven't filmed any of me taking that off. So the issues that I had, not much, but when I managed to get these bolts out, spanner on that side, socket on this side, got them out, got the nut off the end, and then I couldn't get this bit out. I was tapping it with a hammer and it wasn't budging, so what I discovered, I don't know if you can see in there, but the hole in where it goes in, I'm not sure if that shows, it's actually got a thread on it as well. So obviously that thread is on the strut. I don't think I've damaged the bolts, they look okay. I didn't really hit it hard enough. So it just took a lot more effort to get those bolts out. I did support this underneath with the trolley jack to get some of the weight off of it, and I managed to get the bolt off of the back of there, sorry, off the front of there, and off of the back of there. I can't quite get those off at the moment, but I think that'll be all right. So this is all wobbling about now. So it was already disconnected from there before at the top, as you saw on the video before. So all the brake lines and that are moved out of the way. So they should, I'm going to put my gloves back on. It's not going to just pop out as it should do, I don't think, because it's a little bit on the tight side where it's obviously been bent and pushed back against the side of the car. But it might need a little bit of jiggery pokery, but I'm going to set you up on tripod now, and then we'll see if we can get it off on camera as well. So I don't know how much you're going to be able to see here. I'm going to put my gloves back on. So the drop link is still connected, although both the bolts are undone, bottom and top, it's obviously still connected. And I couldn't seem to get it off of here. The bolt won't go through. It's probably because it's just a bit, it just needs a bit of brute force, I think. And obviously this one, the top one, I don't even know if you're seeing this on the camera, the top one won't go through because obviously it's pushing against the side of the car. So this now should just come out. There we go. Got to try and lower it down without anything getting in the way. I need to try and get this drop link off. I'll tap it through with a hammer. I think that's just water coming out of there. Oh, that's it, nearly there. Right, that's it. Here we go. It's off. It's off. Right. So what we're going to do now we've got all this off, we're going to take it into the garage and just film it, and we can see properly exactly where it's all bent up. Right, I've got them side by side now. So this is the old one, here's the new one. So you can see, as we saw before, that was the point of impact where it's pushed it against the side of the car. Luckily it stopped. So the spring's probably fine because the impact's down there. I think it was more difficult to get out, mainly because it was bent. So I think it would have been a lot easier had it not been bent like that. But I've bought some new nuts to go on there, some new nylock nuts. So I bought 10 of those for future reference. So we need to now, we'll go back to the car and have a quick look underneath now that's off, and then we'll attempt to get that on. So as I say, it was quite a job and a half. So we managed to get this drop link off, so that should just come out now. Yeah, that's good. So obviously we'll put a new one of those on. Yeah, no damage. Let me just get the torch. Where's the torch? Under there. So yeah, no damage to the bottom arm. In fact, I think that's even had a replacement bottom arm on that because it's got 18 written on it. or 81, one or the other. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Obviously we're not going to know about the steering rack and the drive shaft until such time as we actually get the wheel back on and what have you. There is a little bit of deformation to the rubber there that may just flicker back out. That sounded Italian, didn't it? Flicker back out. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's meant to be like that. Looks a bit odd. No, maybe it's meant to be like that. Never noticed before. I thought it was just a normal concertina like that one, but maybe not. Anyway, it's not leaking, so as I say, until we get this all back on again, we won't really know whether it's damaged or not. Hopefully not, but we'll see. So right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open the bonnet up, offer up the new one. As you can see, there's a tiny little bit of, I might put some sealant on there actually I could do that afterwards, otherwise I'll end up getting it on my hands. So some of the seam sealer is damaged that, but it's not, there's not a dent there or anything, it's just literally scraped it and stopped. So that's good. Once we've got this on, we can get this bloody wing off out the way as well. So I think the wing liner's had it. Yeah, that's all smashed up, so I've got, whether it's this side or not, I don't know. But we will cross that bridge when we come to it. Yeah, it all looks good actually. All looks good. Trying to work out the best way to slot this in. Oops. Come on. I don't know which way around those things, I suppose, rubber things are supposed to go on. Let's get the old one back out. Right, so on that, it's facing that way, yeah, it's the same way. I was just wondering if this rubber top bit, whether that was round the wrong way or not, but it's the same. I guess it's just a matter of getting it in the correct position. Cool, blimey. Cool. Why won't it go in? Right, it's sort of it's sort of on. I got the bolts in. I had a real job. I don't know if it's because this was pushed in and the arch liner was all pushed in, but I could not get that into the right place in the centre of where it should go. So what I did is I took the arch liner off and then it just went in fine. I come to the conclusion this is really a two-person job because I was trying to hold the strut and do the bolt up at the same time, and that was really difficult. I haven't done it right up, I've just put it on a couple of turns just to get it started so it will hold it there. So I managed to get those bolts in, they've gone in fine, and now I need to put the nuts on and do them all up. So I'll try and do that on some on time lapse and some on ordinary. It's starting to get a bit dark now. It's just gone 3 o'clock and it's starting to get dark. So I still want to really try and get this done if I can today. I'm just so intrigued, but everything looks like it's lined up to me. So at the moment I'm still optimistic, and of course the wheel is straight as well. Or the hub is straight. So I'm still optimistic that this might actually all going to be working. Just putting this on, but we'll see. But let's get these bolts done up anyway. So I've already put some WD on the inside of there, and I'm putting it on the threads as well, a little bit. I could put some other stuff on, but I thought this will do. So I'm just going to do it up as tight as I can with my fingers, and then we'll get spanners on them like we did before. So far this has not been too griefy, and it is a whole complete new thing for me doing stuff like this. So I am, especially if it works as well, I'm going to be over the moon, because this is another string to my bow basically, and trust me, if I can do it, so can you. As I've said before, I've got no prior mechanical experience whatsoever. Everything I've done has been taught by books, by YouTube, etc, etc. So honestly, if I can do it, so can you. Now I've already looked at the torque of these. The torque of these is 82, but I'm not going to torque them up just yet, because I want to get it down on its wheels and see if it's going to be right first. But I will torque it up. It's 82 nanometers. Newton meters. You can tell I'm not a mechanic, can't you? Nanometers. So for the time being, I'm just going to do it up tight. I don't even know how tight 82 Newton meters is, to be honest. So you have to have a spanner on one end and a socket on the other, otherwise it will just spin, which is more so when you're undoing it. You can break the tightness, and then a couple of turns after that it will just start spinning. Hence why you have to get a spanner on each end, spanner on the other end. Not sure if you're getting any of this in or not. Let's move the camera up a little bit. So this is just one side of the drop link. Obviously we've got to put the new drop link on as well. I think it's spinning. Yeah, it's spinning. That's a nuisance. So the other way to do it, you have to get a I think it's I can't remember if it's a Torx or a Allen key in there, one or the other, to get that off. Oh, I wish I'd done that now before I actually put the thing on. Never mind, it's on now. So I'm not going to do the top bolt up. I think I'm right in thinking you don't do the top bolt up until you've got it down on its wheels. I think I'm right in thinking that. So I'm going to get a drop link out. Well, I need to get this old drop link off first, so I'm just going to put you on pause while I do that. Hopefully it will come off and there won't be too much swearing. Start again. I got that off, I was right. It just needed a socket in one side. Not a socket, sorry, a T, whatever that is. T, can't see it in this light. Actually, it's an Allen. It's an HW5, which goes in to there, and then a spanner on the bolt. Now I'm going to try and get this in if I can. So I don't think there's a particular way these go in. I don't think it matters. What a bloody hell. Getting them in is a job and a half. Okay, to get this in, you have to turn the wheel. And it's got these nylock nuts on it as well on here. And I think to get these onto the bottom one, I'm not sure. At the moment it's just going to be hanging there, I think, because do I need to jack the... No, I think I need to jack the spring up. I think that's what I need to do. So I'm going to try and do that if I can. So I can slot it into the bottom one. So I'm going to try again. Jack it up underneath, which will hopefully lift it up enough to get that bottom arm thing in. Seems to be working. Yeah. There we go. Slot that in. Maybe I've come a little bit too high there. Just a touch too high. Let it down a smidge. Give it a tap, I think. Because it's around the other side. So while it's up on the jack, oh blimey, let's wait that for a bit more. That's it. I'll have to get a spanner on that, so I'm going to pause you for a minute. Just show you what I've done. So that's the top one, and then we're down there to the bottom one. So that all looks good. Yeah, so I'm just going to pause you for the time being. I don't know what this videoing's been like on here. It is starting to get dark now, but I'm almost there now. So I'm just going to get that up, and then we'll come back. I'm going to slot all those pipes back in where they need to go, and then we'll get the wheel on and get it down, hopefully. So I just start to pump this tyre up and found this. That's obviously where it's hit. That's a shame, because these tyres were put on the car not long before the car was crashed. As you can see, they're virtually brand new. What a waste of a tyre, eh? Awful. So I have got another wheel with a good tyre on, so I'm going to go and get that out of the garage. I say a good tyre, I'm not sure what the tyre's like, but obviously I'll get a new tyre put on this wheel. But for now, we'll get another wheel on it. Right, looks like I've done it. It seems straight enough as far as I can see. Right, the only thing I've got left to do is get the bolt back on, the top bolt. Nut, I should say. What is it with me and nuts and bolts? Bloody awkward, these things. Look at those exhaust fumes in the garage. Whew. Right, I'm just going to turn it round. So, now I drove it out, it all drives out okay. There was a little bit of noise coming from something, not quite sure what. I don't know if possibly, no, I don't think it's fouling anything, the wing or the bumper, but it may have been just the brake disc, because as you know that brake disc is quite scored, and it was, I'm not scored, sorry, quite rusty. So it may have been that, but it's on its 4 legs. The only thing that has come up is it may be because it needs resetting in MES, but it's come up ABS. The ABS lights up, so I don't know why that is. I did plug the ABS sensor back in, so it just might need the fault clearing on MES, which I'll do tomorrow. But as you can see, it's back round the right way and easier to work on now. When the neighbour's car's not there, it's much easier to work on, so I'm really pleased about that. As I say, it was quite a major achievement for me to actually do this, as it's not anything I've ever done before. The only thing I haven't done, I just couldn't do it with that scuttle panel on, is do that bolt back up on the top. So that may be what the creaking is. It may be it's moving around under there. That could well be what it is. But we'll do that tomorrow. I'll take that scuttle panel off and get that all tightened up. But so far so good. Tomorrow we'll also get the wing off and get the new wing on, and then we'll try and sort that bumper out. So you never know, by the end of tomorrow, let's just turn the engine off. It's got loads of petrol in it. It's just nice to get it all turned around the other way, the right way. Up there, bottom right, and it came up ABS unavailable. Yeah, pleased. I am very pleased, as you can tell. All the lights work down there, which is always a bonus. We just need to get that bolt tightened up, get the wing done, get the bumper off, get the new headlight in, and we are cooking. And it'll almost be time for MOT, hopefully. I'll get that, once that bolt's tightened up, I might take it for, well no, actually obviously I've got to get the wing on. It's all insured. I think the MOT is still valid for quite a while, I think. Can't remember off the top of my head. Tax has run out, road tax has run out, so yeah, MOT is still available, so I might as well tax it, get it out on the road and get it booked in for an MOT, I guess. So it really could be a really quick turnover, this. Bearing in mind that this is only I think this is the 3rd day on it. I say day, you know, I've spent a couple of hours out here today doing that, and I've spent virtually no time doing anything else really. I know we've got to clean the seats and all that, but that's a really good job so far. Let's just turn this engine off. Oh, it's a bit dark. Let me turn the interior light on. No, turn the ignition on first. Interior light, that's better. Bit more light. So yeah, ABS unavailable. Yeah, I'm hoping, as I say, hopefully that will be. I've definitely plugged in the ABS sensor back in, unless something's got damaged in there, of course, in which case I'll have to change it. But Hopefully not, but we'll plug it in tomorrow. So that is it for this video. All the other stuff will come on the next video. I am aiming, and I have been for some time now, well, a few weeks. I've been trying to get 2 videos up every week, one midweek, one at the weekend, preferably on a Sunday. Whether it be a how-to video or part of the car. Obviously, there's going to be times where I can't, where I've not got things to do. There's not enough for a video. I've got a couple of Copart videos in mind that I'm going to do soon. But as I say, I am trying to get 2 videos a week to give you a bit more content. But for the time being, that's it for the strut. As I said, as you know, I'm delighted that I've managed to get that done. I watched a couple of YouTube videos. Never done it before. Connor's done it for me before. I just stood there while he did it, and it cost me money. Money that I don't have to spend now. That's assuming I've done it right, of course. No, I have done it right. Of course I've done it right. It's not difficult, really. As I said while I was doing it, I think it was part of while I was filming that was actually doing it, is I'm not a mechanic. I am not by any stretch of the imagination a mechanic in any way, shape or form. So everything I've learned about doing these cars, I've learned from YouTube, I've learned from the Haynes manual, and Fiat forums. Yeah. So when I do things like that I've never done before, airbags, dash, all that sort of stuff doesn't faze me at all. I can virtually do it with my eyes closed, literally, almost. But when it comes to things like suspension legs, well, go back a year and tell me that I'd be doing a suspension leg and I would have laughed at you. No chance. But I've done it now. So, when I have a MOT failure, touch wood, I haven't got any wood in here, it's plastic. When I have an MOT failure where shock absorber or a spring needs doing, I bought some spring compressors so I can do springs. But, when the shock's gone, I'll do it myself. Why get a garage to do it? I can do it myself now. I know how to do it. That was obviously a little bit more difficult to get off because it was all bent up. But if you've got one that's just got a leaking shock or the shock's gone or whatever, it's easy enough to do, isn't it? It's basically two bolts on where the hub connects to it, 1 bolt at the top, and maybe 1 or 2 bolts on the drop link. That's it. That's all you really got to do. Get the thing off and then change the shock. So that will probably be something else that I will have a go at in the future. Hopefully not. Hopefully I won't have any cars that have got leaking shocks. But if I do, then now I can do it. And of course, any other cars that I get in the future that are in the same sort of state as this one, I can do it now. Oops, it's something I don't need to be not scared of doing, but I wasn't confident in doing it. As you know, I ain't confident in doing cam belt, and it will be a very long while before I ever attempt that. And I know a lot of you say it's easy. Just be methodical, and I've watched YouTube videos and it scares me a little bit, so I won't be doing those. I'd rather pay Connor the £120 to do it, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, I'm really pleased, really pleased I managed to get that done. Let's turn the lights off. So as I said, that's the end of this video for today. Until the next one. If you are a casual viewer, if you've come here for the first time and you're enjoying watching me waffle and enjoying watching me do these cars up, it's always Fiat 500s and R-Baths, whether they be crash ones or stolen recovered. Whatever I can get that needs work doing on it, I will get at if I can get them at a good price. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. It really does help. And we will see you probably this video will be going up middle of the week, I imagine, and then we'll be seeing you again the following weekend, hopefully, with the next video. So until then, take care and we will see you soon.